So it looks like more cast members might have just been revealed for Avengers Doomsday, revealing some new characters that have not been confirmed yet. What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Welcome back to the channel. The person who posted the original promo photos for Avengers Doomsday, the ones with the white background that had Loki and Shang-Chi, etc., talking about the original ones, not the ones that came after that looked to be AI, but the original ones that seem to be real, they have now posted a list of people that they have either seen photos for these promotional images, people who they have not seen photos for, but they know that they're going to be coming, and people who they specifically say, no promotional images are coming for these specific actors and their characters. So a lot to go into today. Some of the people who are going to have photos are quite interesting. This really does seem to be just a massive promotional event, and Marvel is going to play this like it is just, you know, one of the biggest events of all time, which it is. I wish we had a little bit more buildup, but the way it seems like they're going to do this, it should be okay. It should be all right. So let's dive into this list. This is coming from the member, the biggest Hitman fan. That's the name of the person who was posted these, who said they have the source, and they're the ones who originally posted those photos. We could not find the original source at first, but it seems we have found it now. So they list just the normal ones at first, you know, Anthony Mackie, Captain America, Simu Liu, Shang-Chi, Sebastian Stan Bucky, Winston Duke, M'Baku, Tom Hiddleston, Florence Pugh, Yelena Belova, James Marsden Cyclops, Ian McKellen Magneto, Chris Evans, Steve Rogers. So this is a big one, if true. If Marvel Studios, because we heard Marvel Studios had, you know, 30 plus trailers they were going through to figure out what the best one was. And then we heard reports from like Christian Harloff and a couple other people stating that in some of those trailers, Chris Evans and Haley Atwell, they're in those trailers. And then we got a trailer description recently who said at the end, Chris Evans does show up with Haley Atwell. So if Marvel Studios has decided to show Chris Evans' return in Avengers Doomsday, then yeah, it would make sense that he would get a promotional photo. So multiple reports now are telling us Chris Evans is returning, plus not to mention the major trade outlets that reported it forever ago. It does seem like Marvel Studios is going to try to use Chris Evans' return to hype things up, and they are indeed going to show him in the trailer and give him a promotional photo for magazines and posters, etc. So it's interesting to see his name on here. Then they state RDJ not in a Doom outfit, which is very interesting because right after RDJ is Kevin Feige. We have seen the photo for Kevin Feige. And I say it's interesting because in the photo, it seemed like somebody, you know, was hugging him, has their arm around him. And I think that was Robert Downey Jr. And that person, who I believe is Robert Downey Jr., is clearly wearing just like a normal suit. They're not wearing the Dr. Doom outfit. So it's really interesting because we're reportedly going to get a lot of Doom in action when the trailer releases, when the teaser drops, less than a month now. I would imagine we're going to see Doom in a suit when we get all the action. I don't know how they would hide that if they're showing us action scenes. So that's kind of weird because it seems like they're trying to maybe hide the suit in these promo photos. Or maybe there's just a reason we don't know that he's not going to be dressed up. Maybe they don't want to give us like the best look. Maybe they're going to just tease us. They'll give us action scenes, but who knows? I do find that rather interesting though. So here's another one, Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange. He has not been confirmed. However, today or last night, he did say he's coming back. He didn't specifically say Avengers Doomsday, but he did say he's coming back. And he also said that he's got a pretty big Marvel commitment in 2026. So I think that just confirmed Avengers, well, one, it does confirm Avengers Secret Wars, but two, I think it confirms Doctor Strange 3. I did a whole video on how I think Doctor Strange 3 is the next movie, or I should say the first movie to come of the Mutant Saga, the first movie after Avengers Secret Wars, because I think that movie is going to be the most important, because Doctor Strange is going to be, what I'm theorizing, one of the only people who remembers what happened in the past after the new universe is created. So I think his movie has to come first, so he kind of explains how the new universe works. I think it's going to be really important. So after him, Kelsey Grammer, we obviously have Beast already, it's confirmed. Chris Hemsworth, Thor, confirmed. Rebecca Remains, Mystique, confirmed. Patrick Stewart, Professor X. David Arbor, Red Guardian. Louis Pullman, Sentry. Danny Ramirez, Falcon. Wyatt Russell, John Walker. Here's one. Some people will like this, some people will hate it. Tatiana Maslany, Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. They state human form, just the actress in a lawyer suit similar to the one she got in She-Hulk. We have seen the leaked Secret Wars concept art photos that show She-Hulk in the movie. And now this person is saying that She-Hulk is indeed going to be in the movie. And if this is accurate, well, she's back. So good news for some of you who have been asking. I've seen the comments, but I've also seen comments of people who don't want her to be back. I think sometimes you got to keep out for reports that, because I've heard reports that she's not going to return. Marvel's done with her. And yeah, she did kind of tell everybody to unsubscribe from Disney Plus. But you never really know how the studios perceive that. You'd probably think not too well, but it looks like she's going to return. So here's an interesting one. So the next three people are Andy Park, Sarah Haley Finn, Brad Winderbaum. So we know who Brad Winderbaum is. He's the head of Marvel Television and a producer for Marvel. Andy Park is, I believe, the director of visual development. Yes, at Marvel Studios. And Sarah Haley Finn is in charge of casting. She's the casting director, and I believe she has cast basically everyone throughout the entirety of the MCU. I think, with the exception of Incredible Hulk. I think she's cast just about everyone, if not everybody, with the exception of the Incredible Hulk. So people who are very important to Marvel, right? I've actually met Andy Park before, and incredibly nice. He was an incredibly nice person. Brad Winderbaum as well. And Sarah's obviously done a really great job. This to me tells me that it is really big, right? The promotions for this movie are going to go crazy. The interviews, the posters, everything like that. Because if they have these photos, that means they're going to be in interviews. That means they're probably planning some really big promotional stunt that just involves everybody that is involved in Avengers Doomsday. And they're going to make this seem like it's just the biggest thing ever, which I love. I think that's a really great idea because I think it is going to be one of the biggest events ever, especially for Marvel. I really do hope it's bigger than Infinity War and bigger than Endgame, which is what we have heard. And we recently heard from Daniel RPK that visually Doomsday does look better than Infinity War and Endgame, which is crazy to think about because I think Infinity War was insane. I mean, Endgame was too, but I really love like the Doctor Strange versus Thanos fighting scene. That was crazy. But we'll go on. Channing Tatum Gambit, we knew that. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man. Letitia Wright, Shuri. Hannah John Kamen, Ghost. Tom Hiddleston, Loki. Didn't we say Hiddleston already? Yeah, we did. Twice. Alan Cumming, Nightcrawler. Tanaka Huerta, Namor. Here's one for some people. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. There was never any doubt in my mind that Captain Marvel wasn't going to return. Like, I knew she was going to return, especially if you consider the post-credit of the Marvels, right? Teyonah Parris, who is next, Monica Rambeau, she is going to be in the movie as well. She's in the X-Men universe. We knew they were going to pick up after the Marvels. I know some people are like, oh, Brie Larson's out of it. There was no question in my mind. Like, she's totally in it. Same thing with Monica Rambeau. And from what I understand, if the reports are accurate, Captain Marvel has been trying to find Monica Rambeau, trying to figure out a way to get to her. And in Doomsday, they finally figure that out. And that's why they go to the X-Men universe, to try to get Monica Rambeau. So here's a big one, though. Chris and I talked about this on our CVA podcast, the Cosmic Variance Authority. Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. Secret Invasion was not the best. In fact, I think I might have ranked it the worst MCU show. I did a ranking not too long ago. It's near the bottom. Like, it's got to be bottom 3. But needless to say, if you erase that, Nick Fury's been amazing throughout the entirety of the MCU and has been really important, especially when it comes to the Avengers. So it totally makes sense that he would be back. Totally makes sense. Then we have Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic, Joseph Quinn, Johnny Storm. Here's where it gets kind of interesting. They then state, I do not have photos of Vanessa Kirby, which of course has been confirmed already. RDJ as Doom, so just RDJ in normal clothes. Ebon Moss-Bachrach, who is the Thing. Clea, Tobey Maguire, Hulk, Hugh Jackman, anyone from the TVA really except for Loki, and Ryan Reynolds. So most of these people, I think, are going to be in Avengers Doomsday. We obviously know, like, Vanessa Kirby is. The Thing's going to be in there. I think Clea obviously comes with Doctor Strange returning as well. We've heard a lot about Tobey Maguire. I think the Hulk is in it unless he gets trapped with Spider-Man at the end of Brand New Day, and they're both not in it. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, they're going to be in it. But then they say this: no Ghost Rider. Stop asking me that. No Storm, so no Halle Berry. No Famke Jensen, so no Jean Grey. No Daredevil. No Spider-Man. So they specifically said don't have photos of Tobey, implying that Tobey is in it. They just don't have photos, but then specifically said no Spider-Man, which I believe is Tom Holland's. So that's really interesting. Again, like another report that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is not going to be in this movie. Or, here's the thing. They're saying no to these people. It doesn't mean that they won't necessarily appear in the movie. Spider-Man might be different, but for Daredevil, Famke Jensen, Storm, Ghost Rider, it could mean they're just not going to do anything to promote them, right? They're not going to reveal them before the movie comes out. They're going to wait till the movie comes out for you to see if they're in it or not, right? Because there are going to be surprise reveals. It's kind of interesting. We're hearing about, Chris Evans returning, what you would think would be a pretty big reveal, but also we've had the entirety of the MCU to see him. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be super cool. But that means there are just bigger reveals coming because it is a multiversal movie. We're dealing with the multiverse here. There are going to be surprise cameos. So it's good to know that they're keeping those a secret, right? I do want to see Storm. I do want to see Jean. I think it would be a shame if we didn't see them. We have heard we are going to see Ghost Rider, but they did specifically say it's a quick cameo, not like a big role. That was from Daniel RBK in the past. So this kind of lines up with everything we've heard before. So confirmations here for like She-Hulk, Nick Fury, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. It appears that Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man might not be in it. It's so weird. Like, it's just so weird to me. But it makes sense now that they would add Tobey for that, to have a Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the most popular hero of all time. They've got to have him in there in some way, shape, or form. I, for one, am really excited for it. But go ahead, let me know what you think about this list. Seems like we have some pretty big confirmations here. The cast is huge. There is more to come. But I think as far as what they are going to officially announce, it's just going to be everyone we mentioned here, except for at the end where they said no Ghost Rider, no Storm, no Jean Grey, no Daredevil, no Spider-Man. Everybody else that was discussed here, Tobey, Clea, Hugh Jackman, I think they're all going to be in the movie. I think that's our list. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.